you ever sensed a stirring deep inside your heart? That quiet restlessness in your soul? That unshakable feeling that something is about to shift in your journey? You may not be able to explain it, but within you there's a certainty. God is getting ready to move. Beloved, when God prepares to transform your life, He does not speak it softly. He sends unmistakable signals. He shakes the very foundation beneath you. He disrupts your routines and stirs you awake to His greater design. And today I want to reveal to you 6 powerful signs that God is about to forever redirect your path. Because once you recognize these signs, you will never again miss the evidence of His hand shaping your destiny. The first thing you must understand is that God never leaves His children in the same place forever. Stagnation is not His design. Growth, transformation, elevation, that is the way of God. Sometimes, in order to draw you into your next season, He must unsettle you in the current one. You begin to feel a holy dissatisfaction. The things that once made you comfortable no longer satisfy you. The conversations that once entertained you now drain you. The places you used to run to for peace suddenly feel empty. That dissatisfaction is not a curse. It is a sign. It is God whispering that your roots have outgrown the soil you are planted in. He is about to transplant you into new territory. And the unease you feel is heaven's announcement that your chapter is changing. Another sign that God is preparing to change your life forever is divine disconnection. Have you noticed that sometimes people you thought would walk with you forever suddenly drift away? It hurts. It confuses. It stirs questions in your mind. But I want you to know this. When God begins to pull certain people out of your life, it is not rejection. It is protection. There are people whose presence is tied to an old season, and they cannot carry the weight of your new one. God knows what you do not know. He sees what you cannot see. And before He takes you into your future, He often clears your circle of unnecessary baggage. So do not fight the disconnections. Do not cling to what God is removing. If someone walks away while you are still faithful to God, take it as a sign your life is about to change, and not everyone can follow where God is taking you. The third sign is the stirring of unusual opportunities. You begin to notice doors opening that you never knocked on, invitations coming that you never expected, favor showing up in places you least imagined. This is not coincidence. This is God positioning you for transition. But here is the truth. Opportunities are not always wrapped in comfort. Many times the door God opens looks intimidating. It stretches your faith. It calls you out of your comfort zone. When God is about to change your life, He will challenge you with doors that look too big for you. Why? Because He wants you to trust Him more than you trust yourself. That unusual opportunity is not about your strength. It is about His plan. And when you step through it, you will realize it was His way of ushering you into destiny. Then there is the breaking of old habits and desires. Perhaps you notice that the things you once indulged in no longer appeal to you. The distractions you once entertained now feel heavy and meaningless. This is a sign that God is purifying you for the next level. He cannot elevate you into greater blessing while you are still bound by yesterday's chains. So He begins to strip away addictions, habits, cravings, and attachments. And though it may feel like loss, it is actually liberation. God is removing what cannot enter your promised land. He is sanctifying your appetite so you will hunger for His will above everything else. When you feel the urge to walk away from old cycles you once thought you needed, understand that God Himself is reconditioning your spirit for transformation. Another undeniable sign is divine disruption. Have you ever had your plans shattered, your routines interrupted, your neatly ordered life thrown into confusion? At first you think the enemy is attacking you, but later you realize it was God's hand breaking you out of limitations. When God wants to change your life forever, He often begins by disrupting your comfort. That job you thought was secure suddenly ends. That path you were walking suddenly closes. That situation you thought was permanent suddenly collapses. Why? Because God is forcing you to depend on Him alone. If He left you in control, you would cling to the familiar. But through disruption, He teaches you that He is the only unshakable foundation. So when your plans fall apart, lift your eyes and declare, God, I know this is not the end. It is the sign of a new beginning. And finally, one of the greatest signs God is about to change your life is the birth of deep spiritual hunger. Suddenly, you cannot go a day without seeking Him. Suddenly, the noise of the world irritates you, and only His presence satisfies. You wake up in the middle of the night with a burning desire to pray, to listen, to draw nearer to God. This hunger is not ordinary. It is God pulling you closer because He is preparing you for a new assignment, a greater calling, a destiny shift. Spiritual hunger is heaven's announcement that something eternal is being planted inside of you. And when you yield to it, your entire life begins to align with God's plan in ways you never imagined. My dear friend, these 6 signs are not random. They are not accidents. They are the fingerprints of God on your life. Holy dissatisfaction, divine disconnections, unusual opportunities, the breaking of old habits, divine disruption, and a deeper hunger for God. Each one of these is a trumpet from heaven declaring that change is coming. And when God changes your life, it is never small. It is never temporary. It is forever. When God prepares to change your life forever, He is not merely adjusting your circumstances. He is rewriting the script of your destiny. He is aligning your steps with a purpose far beyond what your eyes can see, and in those moments He speaks through the tension, the silence, the shifts, and the storms. You may not always understand it, but deep within your soul you will know that this is not ordinary life unfolding. This is divine orchestration. Think of it this way. When a seed is planted deep into the soil, the process of transformation is hidden. Beneath the dirt, it is being broken, reshaped, prepared to sprout. To the outside eye, nothing looks different. But beneath the surface, life is about to burst forth. So it is with you. Right now, though others may not see it, though you may not even fully understand it yourself, God is working behind the curtain of your life. He is breaking certain things down so He can build something new. The discomfort you feel is not punishment. It is preparation. The waiting you endure is not delay. It is divine timing. You are being positioned for a life you cannot even imagine yet. Do not despise the season of isolation. Do not despise the season of silence, because it is often in those quiet, hidden places that God molds the vessel He will use for greater glory. Look at your life now. The loneliness you feel may not be abandonment at all. It may be God pulling you away from the noise so He can speak clearly to your spirit. The emptiness you feel may not be loss. It may be space being created for the new thing God is about to pour in. And when He fills it, it will overflow in ways that will shock even you. There is something powerful about divine restlessness. You cannot sleep comfortably in a place you have outgrown. You cannot force joy out of something God has already closed. That unease in your heart is God refusing to let you settle for less than His best. And make no mistake, God's best often comes wrapped in challenge, in faith. In the unknown, He does not lead you into destiny by giving you all the answers. He leads you by stirring your spirit, pressing you forward, and demanding your trust. But listen carefully. Every time God is about to change your life, there will also be resistance. Do not think the enemy will sit silently while God is rearranging your destiny. Suddenly, distractions will multiply. Temptations will increase. Opposition will rise up from unexpected places. Why? Because the closer you get to transformation, the louder the resistance becomes. But child of God, do not fear. Resistance is not a sign of defeat. It is proof of progress. If you were not on the brink of change, the enemy would not fight you so hard. When all hell breaks loose, that is often the clearest sign that heaven is about to open over your life. And here is something many overlook. When God is about to change your life, He will often test your obedience in small things. He whispers, "Give this up, forgive that person, step away from that habit, sow into this moment." These may not seem like grand gestures, but they are the keys that unlock greater doors. Every act of obedience, no matter how small, positions you closer to the life God is preparing. Disobedience keeps you chained to the past, but obedience unlocks the future. So pay attention, for God often disguises great breakthroughs behind simple instructions. Oh, how crucial it is to recognize the holy hunger when it stirs in you, that pull to seek Him more, that longing to hear His voice, that unquenchable thirst for His presence. This is no coincidence. That hunger is evidence that your spirit is being prepared to carry more weight, more responsibility, more glory. Do not silence it. Do not ignore it. Feed it with prayer. Fuel it with worship. Guard it with discipline. Because that hunger is the bridge between where you are and where God is taking you. And let me tell you this with conviction. When God changes your life, He does not merely upgrade your circumstances. He upgrades your vision. He expands your perspective. Suddenly, you see possibilities where you once saw impossibilities. You see purpose where you once saw pain. You see divine order where you once saw chaos. This is the renewing of the mind that only God can accomplish. He shifts your thoughts so your life can follow. So, my dear friend, do not shrink back. Do not fear the transition. Do not resist the shaking. For every shaking is followed by a settling. Every breaking is followed by a building. Every ending is followed by a beginning. These signs you see, the disconnections, the disruptions, the restlessness, the opportunities, the hunger, they are not random. They are the voice of God calling you upward, forward, deeper. And if you yield to them, your life will never be the same again. There comes a moment in every person's life when the ordinary cannot contain them any longer, when the familiar cannot define them anymore, when the old doors are too small for the greatness God is preparing to pour through them. That moment is not always announced with trumpet blasts or loud proclamations, but it is always marked by an unmistakable stirring deep within the soul. You wake up and know that something is shifting. You carry an inner awareness that where you are now is not where you are meant to remain. And let me tell you, that is not imagination. That is the Spirit of God preparing you for divine change. You see, God does not call you into comfort. He calls you into destiny. And destiny is never birthed in ease. It is birthed in stretching. It is birthed in moments when your faith feels tested beyond measure. It is birthed when you are standing at the edge of the unknown and God whispers, "Step forward even though you cannot see the ground beneath your feet." That step is where life is transformed. That step is where chains are broken. That step is where your old identity is left behind and your new season begins. But here is what so many fail to understand. Before God changes your life, He changes your perspective. You cannot walk into a new season with an old mindset. That is why you feel restless, why your heart feels unsettled, why your spirit yearns for more. God is teaching you to think higher, to see further, to believe bigger. He is stretching the capacity of your faith so that you can carry the weight of the blessing He is about to release. The greatest limitation in your life is not your circumstance. It is your perspective. And when God enlarges your vision, everything else follows. Do not be surprised when life feels like it is falling apart right before the breakthrough. That is often the evidence that God is rearranging everything for your good. The friendships that dissolve, the plans that collapse, the doors that close, they are not signs of abandonment. They are signs of divine redirection. God is not punishing you. He is protecting you from what would have hindered your destiny. Sometimes He must let things die so new things can be born. Sometimes He must let the ground be cleared so new seeds can take root. If you can endure the season of loss, you will step into a harvest that is greater than anything you have ever known. And let me tell you, one of the most powerful signs that God is about to change your life is when He begins to make you uncomfortable with mediocrity. Suddenly, you cannot tolerate what you once accepted. Suddenly, you cannot compromise the way you once did. Suddenly, you cannot stay silent where you once ignored the truth. This is not you simply becoming difficult. This is God awakening a deeper standard within you. He is preparing you for elevation, and elevation always demands purification. God cannot take you higher while you are still clinging to the weights of compromise. So when you feel that burning conviction, when you sense that call to rise above the crowd, do not resist it. It is God demanding more because He intends to give you more. And hear me clearly. When God changes your life, He does not just bless you for yourself. He blesses you to become a blessing. That is why He strips away certain things first, because He is preparing you to carry not just your own destiny, but the impact you will have on countless others. The transformation God brings is never shallow. It is always generational. He wants to shift you so that everyone connected to you will be touched by the change. Your family, your children, your community, they will all feel the ripple effect of the shift God is making in your life. But here is the cost. You must be willing to let go of control. You must be willing to release your grip on what feels safe. God cannot fill hands that are already clinging to something else. He cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. If you want the fullness of His change, you must surrender completely. That means surrendering your timelines, surrendering your expectations, surrendering your need to understand every detail. It means trusting Him even when nothing makes sense, even when the road feels dark, even when the waiting feels endless. Because true transformation comes not through control, but through surrender. And I must tell you this truth with boldness. If you resist the signs, you risk missing the shift. God is merciful, yes, but when He stirs your spirit, when He sends the signals, when He calls you forward, it is because the timing of heaven has aligned. Delay may not destroy you, but disobedience can. When God says move, you must move. When He says let go, you must release. When He says trust, you must believe. The doorway to destiny is opened by obedience. And if you hesitate too long, you may find yourself wandering in circles while others step into what was meant for you. So let me speak into your heart right now. Do not fear the unknown, for the unknown is the canvas upon which God paints his greatest works. Do not fear the disruption, for disruption is the soil of transformation. Do not fear the silence, for silence is where his whispers become clearest. Every sign you see is God's love in motion. He is guiding you, shaping you, preparing you. And when the shift comes, it will not just change your circumstances, it will change you from the inside out. When God is preparing to change your life forever, he often begins by unsettling the very foundations you thought were immovable. Suddenly, the places you once called secure feel fragile. The people you once leaned on are no longer available, and the plans you carefully designed begin to collapse. At first, it feels like everything is working against you, but in truth, it is God working for you. He shakes what can be shaken so that what cannot be shaken will remain. He strips away the counterfeit so that the authentic can be revealed. You may think you are losing, but in reality you are being refined, purified, and positioned for a future greater than your imagination. Think of the caterpillar that struggles inside the cocoon. From the outside it looks trapped, pressed, and bound. But inside that struggle, transformation is taking place. The old is being dissolved so the new can emerge. Without the cocoon, there can be no butterfly. Without the breaking, there can be no rising. So if you feel confined, if you feel pressed, if you feel like your life is under pressure, understand this. God is using that pressure to unlock wings you never knew you had. He is preparing you to soar where you once only crawl. And do not underestimate the power of divine discomfort. And many people run from it, but those who endure it are the ones who see true change. Discomfort is God's tool to pry you away from the familiar. It is His way of saying you cannot stay here any longer. If He allowed you to remain comfortable, you would never leave the place of safety to walk into the land of destiny. That knowing dissatisfaction in your soul is not an accident. It is the signal that God is ready to move you forward. The bed you once rested in is too small for the vision He has placed inside you. The conversations that once satisfied you now leave you empty because your spirit is awakening to a greater reality. But here is the truth you must cling to. When God calls you forward, He also equips you. You might see yourself as unqualified, but God does not measure you by your flaws. He looks for a heart willing to follow His lead. You may feel frail, yet God takes pleasure in using what appears weak to confound what seems strong. You may feel invisible, but God specializes in calling those hidden in the shadows to shine as radiant lights. Often the very things you think disqualify you are the very places where His glory will be revealed most clearly. So never let inadequacy convince you to doubt. In God's hands, inadequacy becomes the gateway to His abundance. Now hear this. When God is preparing to shift your life, He will stretch your faith through seasons of waiting. The waiting room of heaven is one of the greatest training grounds for transformation. Waiting is never wasted. It is divine preparation. In waiting, your motives are refined. In waiting, your faith grows stronger. In waiting, your reliance on God reaches deeper roots. Do not despise the waiting season, for it is the place where destiny is forged. Many forfeit their promise because they cannot endure the pause. But those who hold firm, who choose God's timing over their own, will see His promises bloom in ways far beyond their greatest vision. And oh, the hunger, that unexplainable longing for more of God, that burning desire to be closer, to hear His voice, to walk in His will, is one of the clearest signs that change is near. Hunger is the womb of transformation. Hunger pulls you to your knees in prayer, drives you to open the Word, and makes you restless for His presence. That hunger is not ordinary. It is heaven planting seeds of destiny inside your spirit. When you feed that hunger, you are watering the soil of your future. When you starve that hunger, you delay what God is ready to do. So cherish it, protect it, pursue it. For hunger is proof that God is not done with you. He is just getting started. And I must declare this truth boldly. When God decides to change your life forever, no power on earth and no force of darkness can stop it. People may doubt you. Circumstances may rise against you. The enemy may whisper lies into your ear. But when God ordains a shift, His word overrides every opposition. The same God who spoke creation into being is the one who is writing your story. And His word does not return void. His plan cannot be canceled. His timing cannot be delayed. His hand cannot be restrained. If He has said your life will change, it will change. Not by human strength, not by worldly influence, but by the power of God Himself. So lift your head, child of God. Wipe the tears from your face. Silence the voices of fear. The shaking you feel is not your destruction. It is your rebirth. The silence you endure is not abandonment. It is preparation. The hunger you carry is not emptiness. It is destiny. And the signs you see are not random. They are divine signals that the author of your life is turning the page. When God is preparing to change your life forever, there is often a heaviness that comes before the breakthrough. You may feel the weight of battles you never asked for, challenges you never imagined, and pressures that seem almost unbearable. But hear me with faith, that heaviness is not the end. It is the sign of birth. Just as a woman feels the deepest labor pains right before new life comes forth, so too the greatest struggles of your spirit often come just before God births something new in you. Pain is often the prelude to purpose. Struggle is often the doorway to strength. If you can endure the labor, you will hold the promise in your hands. And you must recognize that God does not send signs for nothing. He is intentional with every stirring in your heart. That restlessness, that discontent, that inward longing, those are divine indicators that the chapter is about to turn. God never awakens a hunger He does not intend to satisfy. He never stirs a longing without preparing a fulfillment. So when your soul feels unsettled, when you cannot be satisfied by the things that once kept you content, lift your eyes. It is not emptiness. It is expectation. It is God enlarging your spirit to carry what is coming. Do not be surprised when the journey becomes lonely. Not everyone will understand where God is taking you. Not everyone will celebrate the transformation He is working in you. Some will doubt, some will criticize, and some will walk away. But loneliness in a season of change is not abandonment. It is sanctification. God separates you so He can speak to you clearly. He isolates you so He can strengthen you privately before revealing you publicly. The voices of men are silenced so that the voice of God can thunder in your spirit. And when He is finished, you will rise with a clarity and conviction that no opposition can silence. Understand this: whenever God prepares to elevate you, He always tests your faithfulness in the small things. It is easy to desire the grand stage, the visible blessing, the great breakthrough. But destiny is built on obedience in hidden places. If you will not pray in the secret place, you will not stand in the public place. If you cannot be faithful with little, you will not be trusted with much. Every small test, every quiet act of obedience, every hidden sacrifice is a seed. And when the time is right, God will water those seeds and cause them to grow into a harvest that will shock even you. And I must tell you, transformation rarely looks the way you expect. You may pray for God to open one door, but instead He closes it. You may ask for Him to bless one relationship, but instead He ends it. You may plead for Him to secure your plans, but instead He disrupts them. Why? Because God sees what you cannot see. He knows where each road leads. He knows which connections will hold you back, which desires will destroy you, which plans will trap you. So He rearranges things, sometimes painfully, so that you will not miss the destiny He has prepared. Trust the detours, for they are not detours to Him. They are the exact path to your promise. And here is a truth many overlook. When God is about to change your life, He speaks louder through circumstances than through comfort. He speaks through the door that slams shut, the friend that walks away, the plan that fails. These are not accidents. They are divine signals. If you only see them as losses, you will miss the lesson. But if you recognize them as messages, you will realize that God has been guiding you all along. Every closed door is God's no to what would have destroyed you. Every painful goodbye is His way of making room for better. Every disruption is heaven's way of realignment. And when the shift begins, you will notice something strange. What used to drain you will no longer touch you. What once provoked you will no longer disturb you. The very things that once kept you bound will suddenly lose their power. This is not willpower, it is transformation. God Himself is changing your appetite, rewiring your desires, strengthening your spirit. Where you once thirsted for the world, you will now thirst for Him. Where you once leaned on people, you will now lean on His presence. Where you once depended on your strength, you will now rest in His power. That inward shift is the greatest sign of all that God is not just changing your life externally, but transforming you from within. When God is on the verge of transforming your life forever, the atmosphere around you begins to shift. You may not always see it with your eyes, but your spirit feels it. The air becomes thick with divine anticipation. Conversations that once carried no weight suddenly begin to echo with purpose. Encounters that seem ordinary suddenly carry extraordinary significance. It is as if heaven itself leans closer to the earth, waiting for the moment when God unveils what He has been preparing all along. And my friend, if you are sensitive, you will realize that nothing around you is happening by chance. Everything is being orchestrated by the mighty hand of God. But let us speak with clarity and conviction. God does not prepare you for change without first demanding a deeper surrender. Transformation always begins with surrender. You cannot step into the new while clinging to the old. You cannot embrace the blessing while holding tightly to the burden. God is asking for your heart, your will, your ambitions, your fears, not because He wants to strip you of joy, but because He wants to release you into joy that cannot be stolen. Every surrender is a seed. And when you place that seed into God's hands, He multiplies it into a harvest beyond imagination. Too often people resist this process. They cling to what God is trying to remove. They fight to hold on to seasons that have already expired. They refuse to let go of people who are only meant to walk with them for a chapter, not the whole book. But hear this truth. If you cling to what God is removing, you will miss what God is releasing. The blessing is never in what He takes. It is always in what He gives. So let go of your grip. Release your fear. Trust the author of time and eternity. For He knows what tomorrow holds, and He has already gone ahead of you to prepare it. And let me remind you, change is never about comfort. It is about calling. God is not interested in making you comfortable. He is interested in making you purposeful. Comfort zones are prisons disguised as safety nets. They keep you where you are, but they never allow you to become who you were created to be. That is why God shakes your comfort. That is why He unsettles your patterns. That is why He pushes you into deeper waters where your feet cannot touch the ground. Because it is only in those waters that you learn to swim by faith. It is only in those waters that you learn to trust His voice more than your own understanding. Now listen, one of the clearest signs of impending change is that God gives you glimpses of the future before it fully arrives. He plants dreams in your heart, visions in your mind, whispers in your spirit. You may not fully understand them, but they linger. They haunt you in the best way possible. They make you restless for something greater. Do not dismiss these glimpses. They are not fantasies. They are previews. God always reveals in part before He fulfills in whole. He shows you a fragment of tomorrow to strengthen you in the trials of today. And though the vision may tarry, wait for it will surely come to pass. But as surely as God shows you glimpses, the enemy will try to discourage you with resistance. Do not be shocked when the battle intensifies just before the breakthrough. That is always the pattern of destiny. Darkness fights hardest when light is about to break through. Pressure increases when release is near. The storms rage fiercest when the shore is in sight. If you feel pressed on every side, rejoice because it means you are close. The enemy would not waste his weapons on someone going nowhere. The very fact that you feel the weight of opposition is proof that you are carrying something valuable. And what you carry is not just for you, it is for generations to come. And oh, how vital it is to recognize the hunger within you as a gift from God. Hunger is not weakness. It is strength. Hunger is the compass of destiny. Hunger is God's way of saying, I am calling you deeper. Do not run from it. Feed it, protect it, pursue it, because hunger is what separates those who talk about change from those who actually walk into it. Many people hear the signs but ignore them. They feel the stirring but distract themselves with noise. But those who honor the hunger, those who bow in prayer, those who lean into His whispers, those are the ones who step into transformation that no man can explain. So I declare this with boldness. God is not preparing to simply adjust your circumstances. He is preparing to redefine your entire story. The pain you endured will no longer define you. The failures you carried will no longer limit you. The fears that haunted you will no longer hold you. God is not in the business of small changes. He is in the business of complete transformation. And when He moves, He leaves no doubt that it was His hand alone that shifted your life. Do not settle for the shadows when God is calling you into the light. Do not stay chained when God is offering freedom. Do not hide in fear when God is summoning you to courage. This is your season to rise. This is your moment to believe. This is your hour to embrace the signs and step boldly into the future God has prepared. When God is on the verge of changing your life forever, you will feel as though everything around you is shaking. But in reality, it is your roots being loosened from a soil that can no longer contain your growth. He is uprooting you from what was temporary to plant you into what is eternal. Do not mistake this shaking as destruction. It is transition. A tree cannot grow taller until its roots grow deeper. And a life cannot step into destiny until God shifts its foundation. What you are experiencing is not chaos. It is construction. It may not look orderly now, but the master builder is laying stones of destiny in your path that will carry you into a future you never imagined. And here is something you must understand. When God sends signs of change, He is not merely preparing you for blessing. He is preparing you for responsibility. Blessing without responsibility becomes a burden, but blessing carried with maturity becomes a testimony. That is why He refines you before He elevates you. That is why He tests you before He trusts you. That is why He allows storms to toughen you, betrayals to humble you, and trials to strengthen you. Because when the blessing comes, it will not be small. And He needs to know that your character can hold what your prayers have been asking for. It is in this refining season that God asks questions of your heart. Will you still trust me when the doors remain closed? Will you still love me when the people you leaned on walk away? Will you still worship when the answers have not yet come? These are the questions of destiny, and your response determines how quickly you step into the life-altering change He has prepared. For God is not looking for perfect people. He is looking for surrendered hearts. He is not searching for the strong. He is searching for the willing. He is not waiting for those who have it all together. He is calling those who are ready to place it all in His hands. And let me speak this truth plainly. Before God blesses you with more, He will often strip away what is less. Before He multiplies, He subtracts. Before He builds, He tears down. Before He raises you up, He humbles you low. Do not despise this process. It is the very evidence that transformation is near. You cannot carry the weight of destiny with the baggage of yesterday. So God cuts away the dead branches, prunes the areas that no longer serve you, and clears the space so that new fruit can grow. And though the pruning hurts, it is proof that you are alive, growing, and destined to bear more than you ever have before. And oh, the people He removes. This is one of the most painful yet undeniable signs. Friends you thought would be with you forever begin to vanish. Relationships you once leaned on suddenly collapse. Connections you thought were permanent dissolve overnight. But here is the truth. Everyone cannot go where God is taking you. Some were only meant for your past, not your future. Some were sent for a season, not a lifetime. And if you keep clinging to what God is trying to remove, you will delay your own destiny. Release them in peace. Trust the wisdom of God. For if they were meant to be in your tomorrow, nothing could remove them. And if they are gone, it is because their chapter in your story has ended. Do not mistake solitude for abandonment. Many of the greatest shifts in destiny are preceded by seasons of loneliness. God pulls you away from the crowd so He can sharpen your ears to hear His voice. He silences the noise so His whisper can become your compass. The loneliness is not a curse. It is a consecration. It is the space where God prepares His chosen for what no one else can see. Embrace the solitude, for it is the secret chamber where strength is forged, wisdom is planted, and courage is born. But perhaps the greatest sign of all, the one that cannot be denied, is the unshakable hunger that rises within you. Suddenly, you cannot live as you once did. Suddenly, you cannot go a day without seeking His presence. Suddenly, your soul yearns for God more than it yearns for the approval of men. That hunger is not of your making. It is the Spirit of God awakening something eternal in you. That hunger is heaven's signal that your transformation is imminent. It is the divine magnet pulling you closer to the presence of God, because what He is preparing cannot be carried without intimacy with Him. Protect that hunger, for it is the fuel that will carry you through the transition. And let me say this with boldness: when the shift comes, it will not be small. God does not change lives halfway. He does not prepare His children for something ordinary. No, when He moves in ways that silence doubt, that confuse the enemy, that leave no explanation except this: surely this is the hand of God. When God changes your life forever, you will know it, because nothing will ever be the same again. Old doors will remain closed. New doors will swing open, and your heart will burn with the conviction that you are walking in something that could only be orchestrated by heaven. This is why you must not fear the shaking, the pruning, the loneliness, or the hunger. These are not punishments. They are preparation. They are the fingerprints of God on your soul. They are the divine announcement that your life is about to shift into a dimension you have never known. Hold steady. Stand firm. Refuse to let fear speak louder than faith. The signs are all around you, and the author of destiny has already written the next chapter of your story. My friend, everything you have been sensing, everything you have been walking through, everything that has stirred your spirit in this season has not been random. It has been the handwriting of God declaring that change is coming. The restlessness in your soul, the loss of certain relationships, the disruption of your plans, the hunger that keeps you on your knees, all of these are the whispers and the signs that your life is about to be transformed in ways you cannot even imagine. God never stirs the waters unless He intends to part the sea. He never allows the breaking unless He intends to bring the blessing. He never calls you out unless He has already prepared the place He is leading you into. So lift your eyes with faith and expectation. Do not let fear hold you in yesterday when God is calling you into tomorrow. Do not cling to what He has ended when He is opening something new. The shaking is not the end, it is the beginning. The silence is not emptiness, it is preparation. The hunger is not lack, it is destiny. These 6 signs carry a weight you cannot ignore. They are heaven's announcement that a turning point has arrived and your life is about to be transformed. Step forward with confidence into this new chapter. Stand firm even when the path feels unclear. Trust the invisible hand that has never let you go, because His work in you is far from over. The greatest pages of your journey are still waiting to be revealed. And when God writes the next line of your story, nothing on this earth can hold it back. Cling to faith, believe with all your heart, and welcome the change. For when God transforms your destiny, it will never return to the old. Instead, it will rise into something fuller, richer, and far more radiant than you ever imagined. My beloved friends, lean in, for I believe this message is meant for someone right now. There is a stirring deep within you, a gentle whisper in your spirit. It is no accident that these words have reached your ears. God is bringing someone into your life who will love you with truth and depth. This will not be a shallow love, not a fleeting love, not a love that disappears when storms appear. This is a love ordained, upheld, and guided by the very hand of God. Many of you have shed silent tears in the darkness, questioning if you would ever be cherished in a way that truly honors your soul. You have endured valleys of rejection, betrayal, and disappointment. And you have wondered if perhaps real love was never meant for you. But I stand here to declare with certainty that God has not overlooked you. The one who crafted your heart knows how to mend it completely. and He is preparing to send someone who will see you not only with natural eyes, but with eyes of reverence, respect, and deep care. A love grounded in God's truth. When God sends someone into your life, it will not be confusion. It will not be manipulation. It will not be abuse disguised as affection. It will not be a counterfeit that steals your peace. God is not the author of chaos. He is the author of peace. And when He places someone by your side, there will be a divine assurance in your spirit that this person is not here to destroy you, but to build you, to uplift you, to walk with you in purpose. Too long have you allowed people to play with your heart, to take advantage of your kindness, to use your loyalty as their stepping stone. But hear me, God is raising the standard in your life. He is closing doors that should have been shut long ago because He is about to open one that will lead you into a love that reflects His care for you. Some of you have mistaken loneliness for failure. You've asked, why am I still alone? Why hasn't it worked out for me? But I tell you, solitude can be divine preparation. God sometimes keeps you hidden because He is refining you, shaping you, and aligning you with His plan. And when the right person comes, they will not be intimidated by your calling, nor will they diminish your worth. Instead, they will cherish the light of God in you. They will value your tears, your prayers, your sacrifices, because they themselves are being prepared by God. Even now, two souls molded in the fire of God's love are about to meet. And when they do, there will be a recognition deeper than words. Do not chase after those who treat you like an option. Do not bend your values to please those who never intended to honor you. If someone must be begged to stay, then they are not sent by God. When God sends someone, they come not to drain you, but to pour into you. Their words will not cut you down. They will strengthen you. Their actions will not cause you to question your worth. They will remind you of the value God already placed upon your life. This is why you must discern the difference between man-made attraction and God-ordained connection. For one is fleeting, but the other is eternal. I urge you, do not settle for less than what God desires for you. Do not let fear convince you that you must accept anyone just to avoid being alone. Fear is not from God. Faith is. And faith declares, if God promised it, then in His time it will come to pass. God is preparing a love for you that will not crumble when life gets hard. This person will not walk away when battles arise, because true love, love from God, stands firm in both sunshine and storm. And I tell you with boldness, that love is on its way to you. Some of you are listening and your heart is pounding because you know God is speaking directly to you. You've endured heartbreak that nearly broke your spirit, but what you thought was the end was merely preparation. God had to show you the counterfeit so that you could recognize the authentic. He had to let you taste bitterness so that you would cherish the sweetness of what He is about to send. And when this person arrives, you will not doubt, because every prayer you prayed in secret will echo in the way they treat you. Every tear you shed will be redeemed in the joy of companionship that God Himself has orchestrated. So be patient. Stay rooted in prayer. Guard your heart from desperation. God is never late. The same God who designed the heavens, who set the stars in motion, who directs the seasons of the earth, is directing the season of your life. And He has already written into your story the moment when this person will step into your path. You do not need to chase it. You do not need to manipulate it. You do not need to compromise your values for it. Trust in God, for His plan is perfect. His timing is precise and His love for you is unfailing. The person God is sending will not only love you, but will push you closer to Him. They will encourage your faith not weaken it. They will respect your boundaries, not trample them. They will carry themselves with humility, not arrogance. And when you stand together, it will not just be romance. It will be a partnership of purpose. Two lives join not by accident, but by divine appointment. This is not a fleeting infatuation. This is destiny. God is weaving your story together with someone who has been walking their own road of preparation, and soon those paths will cross in His perfect design. Stay faithful, my friend. Stay hopeful. Do not allow the enemy to plant lies in your mind that you are unworthy of love. You are worthy not because of anything man has said, but because God Himself has declared you precious in His sight. The love He is sending will not compete with your relationship with Him. It will complement it. It will not pull you away from His presence. It will anchor you deeper in it. And when you look back, you will say, only God could have written this story. I tell you today, lift your head, strengthen your heart, and prepare yourself, because God is sending someone who truly loves you. And when it happens, it will not just be love you feel. It will be the presence of God's blessing resting upon your life. There comes a moment in life when the silence of waiting feels almost unbearable. When your heart aches for the companionship of one who truly understands you, you see others walking hand in hand. You watch people smile as though love were the easiest thing in the world. And you whisper to yourself, God, when will it be my turn? And yet, in that hidden place of longing, God is at work in ways you cannot yet see. God has not abandoned you to loneliness. He has not forgotten the prayers whispered through your tears. He has not ignored the ache in your heart. He is crafting something so precious, so sacred, that only His timing could release it. And when that time comes, the person He sends into your life will not just fill a void. They will be an answer, a sign of His care, a reflection of His deep love for you. You must understand this counterfeit love comes easily, but true love requires the hand of God. Counterfeit love is loud, boastful, demanding, manipulative. It seeks its own gain. But love that comes from God is steady, selfless, patient, and pure. It doesn't need to perform. It doesn't need to deceive. It doesn't vanish when tested by fire. Many of you have been wounded because you settled for what looked like love but was never sent by God. And those scars still whisper lies to you. They tell you that love is dangerous, that love is unreliable, that maybe love will always hurt. But I tell you today, when God sends love, it heals more than it hurts. When God sends love, it restores what you thought was lost forever. When God sends love, it lifts your soul closer to Him rather than dragging you into the pits of despair. But here is the challenge. Before God sends that person, He prepares your heart. He will not allow someone to love you rightly if you are still chained by the wounds of yesterday. That is why this waiting season feels so heavy. It is not punishment. It is preparation. God is stripping away every lie that told you you are not enough. He is breaking off every chain of fear that convinced you you will always be alone. He is silencing every voice that mocked you, saying you are too broken to be loved. And He is replacing them with His truth. You are mine. You are worthy. You are loved beyond measure. When you believe this truth, you will recognize the one God sends, because the love they show will echo the love God has already been whispering to you. It will not come as a shock. It will feel like confirmation. No. It will feel like the missing piece you did not even know you needed. This is why it is so important not to chase after what God did not send. Do not force connections that drain your spirit. Do not beg people to stay who clearly have no respect for your heart, for what is truly from God will never require you to compromise your worth. What is truly from God will not force you to diminish your light. When God sends someone, they will value you not just for what you give, but for who you are in Him. Some of you are clinging to relationships that God has already told you to release. You keep holding on because you are afraid of the emptiness that follows letting go. But what you call emptiness, God calls clearing the ground. How can He plant a new seed of love if your soil is filled with weeds? How can He bring the right person into your life if you are still chained to the wrong one? The pain of letting go is real, but the reward of trusting God is greater. Do not fear the silence after goodbye, for it is in that silence that God begins His greatest work. He is preparing your heart for someone who will not walk away when storms come. He is preparing your life for someone who will pray with you, fight for you, and stand beside you when the world seems against you. Let me tell you something with conviction. God is not sending you someone who loves only the image of you. He is sending you someone who loves the real you, the raw, unpolished, vulnerable you. They will see your imperfections and call them beautiful not because they are blind to them, but because God will have given them the eyes to see you as He does. This is love that cannot be explained by human logic. It is love birthed in the heart of God and delivered to you in the right season. But listen, this kind of love is not for the faint of heart. When God sends someone, it is not simply for romance, it is for purpose. It is for destiny. This person is not just a partner, they are a co-laborer in the plan God has for your life. They will not distract you from your calling. They will deepen it. They will not compete with your devotion to God. They will ignite it. This is why you must not be impatient, for what God is preparing is bigger than fleeting emotions. It is the joining of two lives under His divine plan. And when you step into that union, you will not only find love, you will find strength, peace, and a deeper revelation of God's presence in your life. My beloved, do not despise the waiting season, for it is the furnace where God refines your heart to receive the love He is preparing to send. So many people rush ahead of God, desperate to fill the emptiness within them. And in their haste, they embrace hands that were never meant to hold them. And then they wonder why their spirit is bruised and their peace shattered. But when you learn to trust God with the deepest cries of your heart, you will discover that His timing is not a denial. It is a protection. He is not withholding love from you. He is saving you for a love that is worthy of you. He is not keeping you from joy. He is safeguarding your soul for the joy that only He can ordain. Let me tell you something with fire in my voice. The love God sends will not mirror the patterns of this broken world. The world calls lust love. The world calls control, commitment. The world calls convenience, connection. But these are counterfeits that fade as quickly as they come. What God is preparing for you is sacred. It will not be built on shallow emotions or fleeting attractions. It will be anchored in respect, trust, and devotion. A love that will honor your spirit and not just your body. A love that will lift you closer to God rather than drag you deeper into sin. When this love comes, it will carry weight. It will carry responsibility. It will carry destiny. And it will be unmistakable, for the fingerprints of God will be all over it. Do not underestimate what God is doing in this silence. Every tear you have cried is watering the soil for the harvest He is about to give. Every prayer you have whispered is being stored in heaven, and not one has been ignored. The silence is not proof that God has abandoned you. The silence is proof that something is being formed, something so sacred that it must be hidden until it is strong enough to be revealed. Just as seeds must break beneath the ground before they can bloom in the light, so must your heart undergo its breaking and shaping before it can embrace the one God is sending. Hear me? Because this is truth. God does not send someone to complete you. Only God Himself can complete you. He sends someone to complement you, to walk beside you, to encourage the divine purpose already burning inside your soul. You are not half a person waiting to be made whole by another human being. You are whole in God. And from that wholeness, God will join you with someone who is also whole in Him. Two whole hearts healed and aligned by His hand will create a bond that cannot be broken. That is the kind of love you must wait for. The kind of love worth every second of patience. But beware, the enemy knows the value of what God is preparing, and he will try to distract you with counterfeits before the real thing arrives. He will send people who look appealing but lack character. He will send voices that promise love but speak lies. He will tempt you with temporary pleasures to rob you of eternal blessings. That is why you must anchor yourself in God. Test every connection by the peace of your spirit. Ask yourself, does this person honor God's presence in my life? Do they draw me closer to Him or lead me further away? Do they respect the boundaries God has set for me, or do they push me to compromise? If the answer is no, then walk away without hesitation. For what God is sending will not require you to abandon your values. It will strengthen them. I say to you boldly, your worth is not up for negotiation. God has placed immeasurable value on your life, and the person He is sending will recognize that worth. They will not make you feel like an option. They will treasure you as a blessing. They will not take advantage of your kindness. They will protect it as a sacred trust. They will not withhold love to manipulate you. They will pour it freely because they know that true love comes from God and is not earned by games or deceit. When they speak, their words will carry sincerity. When they act, their actions will echo consistency. And when they stand beside you, you will know without doubt that they were sent, not by chance, but by God Himself. My friend, prepare your heart now. Do not wait for them to arrive before you learn to stand tall in your identity as a child of God. Walk in dignity now. Live in faith now. Cultivate joy now. Because the love God is sending will not be a crutch to prop up your weakness. It will be a companion to amplify your strength. You must be ready to meet them not from a place of desperation, but from a place of faith, confidence, and spiritual maturity. And when you do, you will see that God has been weaving both your journeys together all along. And I want you to know this. The love God is sending is not fragile. It will not collapse under the weight of trials. It will not fade when passion is tested. It will not dissolve when the world grows cold. Because it is not man-made. It is God-made. And anything God builds cannot be torn down by man. That is why I tell you, hold fast, remain steadfast, and lift your eyes to heaven. For the one who spoke galaxies into existence is the same one preparing this gift for you. Even now, that person may be praying for you. They may be asking God to send them someone just like you. They may be walking through their own refining fire, unaware that their trials are shaping them to become exactly what you need. And in God's perfect timing, He will align your paths. It will not be force. It will not be confusing. It will not be destructive. It will be divine. And when it happens, you will see that every disappointment, every delay, every detour was leading you here to this sacred love sent by God. There are seasons in life when you look at your reflection and wonder if anyone could ever truly see the depths of who you are. The battles you fought in silence, the sacrifices you've made that no one applauded, the nights when your tears became your only companion. You wonder if anyone will ever understand the weight you've carried, the prayers you've prayed, the loneliness you've endured. But I tell you today, God has seen it all. He has watched every step, counted every tear, and measured every ache of your heart. And because He has seen, He is preparing to send someone who will not trample on your soul, but will honor it. Someone who will not dismiss your journey, but will value it. Someone who will not add to your burdens, but will stand beside you as a partner in both joy and trial. God is preparing to send someone who will recognize that you are extraordinary, that you are unique, that you are not a mistake drifting through existence. They will see you as God has always seen you, chosen, set apart, precious, and deserving of a steadfast, unwavering love. This realization will not be born out of charm or deceit. It will flow from the Spirit of God within them, opening their eyes to the treasure that you truly are. When their eyes meet yours, they will not simply see your appearance, they will recognize your faith. They will not merely listen to your words, they will hear the quiet cries of your heart. They will not only observe your actions, they will understand the intention behind them. And they will love you in a way that feels as though God Himself is reaching out to hold you through them. Too many people have walked into your life only to take and never to give, only to use and never to cherish, only to promise and never to fulfill. But the one God is sending will be different. Their love will not drain you. It will revive you. Their presence will not exhaust you. It will refresh you. Their loyalty will not waver in the heat of battle. It will anchor you deeper in God's faithfulness. This is why you must stop chasing after those who cannot value what God has placed in you. Do not waste your tears on those who cannot recognize your worth. Do not spend your strength holding on to people God has already removed. Release the counterfeit so you can receive the authentic. Let go of the temporary so you can embrace the eternal. Understand this with clarity. God is not sending someone to complete your life. Your life is already complete in Him. He is sending someone to walk with you, to share the journey, to multiply your joy, to divide your burdens, and to strengthen your faith. This love will not be a distraction from God. It will be a reflection of Him. For true love, the kind that lasts, does not compete with God's place in your life. It magnifies it. And that is how you will know it is from Him. When this person arrives, they will not just speak of love, they will live it. Their love will show up in action, in patience, in kindness, in sacrifice, in prayer. They will fight for you not with their fists, but with their faith. They will not run when storms rise. They will hold your hand tighter. They will not betray you in moments of weakness. They will cover you with prayer. They will not seek to dominate you. They will seek to walk beside you. And in their love, you will see the reflection of God's faithfulness shining like the morning sun. But here is the truth you must hold before this person arrives. God is preparing you to receive them. He is teaching you what love is by first showing you what it is not. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every failed relationship has been a classroom where God has been shaping your discernment. You now know the taste of manipulation so that you can recognize sincerity. You now know the pain of betrayal so that you can cherish loyalty. You now know the weight of loneliness so that you can embrace companionship with gratitude. None of it has been wasted because God wastes nothing. He turns your pain into wisdom, your scars into lessons, your tears into seeds of joy. So do not despise your scars. They are not signs of defeat. They are proof of survival. They are evidence that even when others walked away, God held you close. They remind you that you are still standing, still breathing, still hoping, because God has carried you this far. And those scars will not repel the one He is sending. They will attract them because the person God is sending will not fear your brokenness. They will honor it. They will not reject your past. They will respect it as part of the story that shaped you. They will not despise your weaknesses. They will embrace you with compassion. That is what true love looks like. But hear me with urgency. Do not confuse lust for love, charm for commitment, or attention for affection. Just because someone desires you does not mean they value you. Just because someone notices you does not mean they are meant to walk with you. Test every spirit. Test every intention. Test every word spoken to your heart. For when love is truly from God, it will not leave you anxious or fearful. It will fill you with peace and assurance. It will not cause you to doubt your worth. It will confirm it. It will not lead you away from God. It will lead you closer to Him. And when you meet this person, your soul will know, not because the world approves, not because they match a list you created, but because the Spirit of God within you will bear witness that this connection is divine. The peace of God will surround it. The joy of God will confirm it. The strength of God will sustain it, and you will know without question this love is a gift sent from above. When God sends someone into your life, He does not send them halfway prepared. He does not send them confused about their purpose. He does not send them as a burden for you to carry. No, He sends them as a blessing, as an answer to prayer, as a reflection of His faithfulness. And when that moment comes, it will be clear. It will not require endless guessing or sleepless nights of anxiety. It will not require you to compromise your dignity or chase after their attention. The person God sends will not need to be convinced to love you. They will love you freely, deeply, and consistently because that love will not flow merely from their emotions. It will flow from God Himself. Too often people mistake struggle for destiny. They believe that if a relationship is filled with chaos, it must mean it is meant to be. But I tell you with boldness, God is not the author of confusion. He is the giver of peace. And when He writes your story, His signature is peace. That does not mean you will never face challenges together. No love escapes trials. But the difference is this: love sent by God does not break. When it is tested, it becomes stronger. Love sent by God does not collapse under pressure. It endures. Love sent by God does not run from fire. It walks through it with faith. This is how you will know the difference between a connection built by man and a union ordained by God. And I must speak plainly. Stop settling for less than what God desires for you. Stop allowing loneliness to push you into the arms of people who cannot carry your heart. Stop confusing attention with affection, flattery with faithfulness, chemistry with covenant. For what God is sending is so much greater, and it requires your patience, your faith, and your willingness to let go of what does not serve your destiny. God cannot fill hands that are already clinging to counterfeiths. He cannot bring the right person into your life if you are still holding on to the wrong one. Sometimes the hardest act of faith is not waiting, it is releasing. You may not understand why certain people walked away. You may not understand why that relationship you prayed would last ended in heartbreak. You may not understand why betrayal came from the very one you trusted. But let me tell you, those goodbyes were divine protection. God saw what you could not see. He saw the pain that would have come if you stayed. He saw the danger that would have consumed you if you continued. And in His mercy, He allowed them to leave so that He could prepare you for the one He is sending. Sometimes rejection is not cruelty. It is redirection. Sometimes heartbreak is not the end. It is the pathway to something far more beautiful. The love God is sending is not ordinary. It is extraordinary. It will not just be a union of hearts, but a union of purpose. This person will not only love you, they will align with the call of God on your life. They will see your vision and support it. They will see your potential and encourage it. They will see your weaknesses and cover them, not exploit them. They will pray with you when the nights are heavy. They will rejoice with you when victories come. And together you will shine as a testimony of what God can do when two people surrender their hearts to Him and to each other. But hear me before God brings them. He will mold you. He will teach you to love yourself the way He loves you. He will strip away every lie that told you that you are unworthy of real love. He will heal the broken places so that you do not bleed on the one He is sending. He will strengthen your identity in Him so that when this person comes, you will not lean on them as your Savior, but you will walk with them as your partner. For if you do not first allow God to heal you, you will sabotage the blessing He intends to give. That is why this season of preparation is so crucial. It may feel lonely, but it is holy. It may feel painful, but it is purposeful. Do not waste the waiting. Use this time to grow, to learn, to deepen your faith, to strengthen your walk with God. For when that person comes, they will not save you from yourself. They will complement the work God has already done in you. Two whole hearts healed by God will create a love that is unshakable. And this is the kind of love God is sending. Not fractured, not manipulative, not selfish, but whole, godly, and enduring. And I must tell you this with urgency. Prepare to love differently. The love God is sending you will not thrive on selfishness. It will require sacrifice. It will require patience. It will require forgiveness. It will require humility. But it will not feel like a prison. It will feel like freedom. Because when God is at the center, sacrifice becomes joy, patience becomes strength, forgiveness becomes healing, and humility becomes honor. This love will not just satisfy your emotions, it will nourish your spirit. It will not just make you feel loved, it will remind you that you are loved by God. So lift up your eyes. Do not despair if you are still waiting. Do not think for one moment that God has overlooked you. If He can align the stars in the heavens and command the oceans to stay within their boundaries, surely He can align two hearts in His perfect timing. The God who never forgets a single sparrow will never forget you. The God who clothes the lilies in beauty will clothe your life with the beauty of love when the season is right. And when it comes, you will stand in awe, knowing that it was not luck, not coincidence, not accident. It was God's hand moving on your behalf. The love God is sending is on the horizon. Do not give up now. Do not grow weary now. Do not settle for less now. Stand firm, remain faithful, and guard your hope. For what is written in heaven cannot be erased on earth. God is sending someone who truly loves you. And when they arrive, it will be a love story authored by the very hand of the Almighty. There is someone listening to me right now who has been through betrayal so deep that you vowed never to open your heart again. You told yourself, I will never trust like that anymore. I will never give anyone that kind of access to me again. But I say to you, God is not finished with your story. The pain you endured was real, but it was not the end. The scars you carry are not the final chapter. God is preparing to send someone who will prove to you that love, when it is birthed from Him, is not a weapon. It is a healing balm. Do not allow the failures of the past to blind you to the blessing of the future. The wrong ones broke you, but the right one will help build you. The wrong ones drained you, but the right one will pour into you. The wrong ones made you doubt your worth, but the right one will remind you daily that you are a treasure from the hand of God. And understand this, the love God is sending will not always come packaged the way you expect. It may not fit the checklist you created in your mind. It may not look like the dream you pictured years ago, but it will be better. It will be divine, because what God chooses for you will always surpass what you imagine for yourself. Too often we confine ourselves to our own limited vision, but God sees further than we do. He sees the heart, not just the appearance. He sees the destiny, not just the present moment. He sees the compatibility of purpose, not just the attraction of personality. And when He sends someone, it will not just satisfy your eyes, it will satisfy your spirit. It will not just excite your emotions, it will bring rest to your soul. Now let me speak with boldness. You must not sabotage what God is preparing by clinging to what He has already removed. Some of you are trying to resurrect relationships that God Himself buried. You keep running back to doors He closed because you fear walking through the new one He is about to open. But hear me. When God shuts a door, it is because He has seen what lies beyond it. And if you force it open, you will only find more pain. Let the past stay in the past. Let the broken remain broken. Do not confuse loyalty with bondage. Do not confuse comfort with destiny. What God is sending will not need to be forced. It will flow, and this love that He is preparing will have evidence. It will not be hidden in shadows. It will not thrive on secrets. It will not demand that you silence your values to keep the peace. No, when God sends someone, their love will be loud in action, but humble in spirit. You will not have to beg for their presence, for they will show up willingly. You will not have to question their intentions, for they will be clear and consistent. You will not have to wonder if they are with you, for they will stand with you openly, unashamed and unwavering. That is how you will know. It is not confusion, it is confirmation. This love will also call you higher. The person God is sending will not let you remain stagnant. They will challenge you not to tear you down, but to build you up. They will call out the greatness within you when you cannot see it yourself. They will push you to pray when your faith feels weak. They will remind you of God's promises when life tries to make you forget. And when the battles of life come, and they will come, you will not stand alone, because this person will stand beside you, shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand, fighting with you, not against you. And let me tell you, this kind of love cannot be rushed. It must be prepared. Just as fine gold must endure fire before it shines, so must true love be refined by time before it is revealed. That is why you cannot hurry God's process. Impatience will only hand you counterfeits, but patience will position you for the authentic. Trust that God knows the exact moment your heart is ready. Trust that God knows when their heart is ready. Trust that God knows how to weave your stories together in such a way that when it happens, the only explanation will be His divine orchestration. So while you wait, strengthen yourself. Do not wait passively, sitting in despair. Wait actively, growing in faith, growing in wisdom, growing in love for God and yourself. Because the person God is sending will not heal your identity. They will confirm it. If you enter that love broken, you will expect them to fix you. But if you enter that love healed, you will walk with them as a partner, not a patient. And together your wholeness will create a bond so powerful that the enemy will tremble at the sight of it. I want you to imagine it now. Imagine the moment you finally realize that every delay had purpose. Imagine the day when the presence of that person makes you look back and say, "Now I understand why it never worked with anyone else. Now I see why the pain was necessary. Now I see why God asked me to wait." That day is coming, and when it comes, joy will overflow. Peace will surround you, and gratitude will flood your heart, because you will know without a shadow of doubt that this was not man's doing. It was God's gift. So take courage, lift your head. Do not lose heart in the waiting. For the same God who orchestrates the rising and setting of the sun, the same God who commands the seas and holds the stars in place, is the same God who is arranging this love for you. And if He can keep the universe in order, surely He can align two hearts in His perfect timing. He has not forgotten you. He has not overlooked you. He has not abandoned you to loneliness. He is preparing something greater than you asked for, deeper than you dreamed of, and stronger than you imagined. God is sending someone who truly loves you. Someone who will not just walk into your life, but walk with you through life. Someone who will not just speak of love, but embody it. Someone who will not just say they care, but prove it day after day. And when they come, you will know it was worth every tear, every prayer, every season of waiting. Because when God writes the story, it is always more beautiful than anything we could have written ourselves. And now, as I draw this message to a close, I want you to let these words settle deep into your spirit. God has not forgotten you. Every moment of loneliness, every unanswered prayer, every ache of your heart has been seen and heard by Him. Do not mistake the silence of this season as the absence of His hand. He is moving. He is aligning. He is preparing. He is shaping you and shaping the one He is sending so that when your paths meet, it will not just be an encounter, it will be destiny. The kind of love God is sending you is not fragile, not fleeting, not shallow. It is rooted in His truth, sustained by His presence and guided by His purpose. It will not confuse you, it will confirm you. It will not diminish you. It will magnify what God has already placed within you. This person will love you with a love that reflects God's own care for you. A love that is steadfast in trials, gentle in weakness, bold in faith, and unwavering in loyalty. So I charge you today, wait with hope, not despair. Walk with faith, not fear. Lift your eyes from the failures of yesterday and fix them on the promises of God. The same God who kept you through heartbreak will lead you into healing. The same God who sustained you in loneliness will bless you with companionship. The very God who has shaped every line of your journey will also craft this chapter with splendor and strength. When the moment arrives, when His perfect timing unfolds, and that person enters your path, you will look back with clarity. Each tear became the rain that nourished this season. Each wound sharpened your vision to recognize truth. Each stretch of waiting trained your faith to embrace the gift. And as you stand beside the one heaven prepared, you will know deep within this was no accident. This was no stroke of fortune. This was no random event. This was the hand of God. Hold steady, beloved. Do not loosen your grip on faith now. Your breakthrough is closer than your eyes can see. Your blessing is nearer than you imagine. And the love God is sending will not just brighten your days, it will redirect your destiny. Lift your gaze, steady your heart, and move forward with confidence. For the faithful author of your story has never failed. God is preparing to send the one who will love you for real. And when they arrive, you will see His goodness woven into every page of your life. There comes a moment in every life when the weight of waiting feels like a mountain pressing down on the soul. You have prayed, you have wept, you have whispered into the stillness of the night, God, when will the answer come? When will the door finally open? And I declare to you today with every fiber of conviction in me, hold on, because God is about to open the very door you've been waiting for. The delays were never denials. The silence was never His absence, and the closed doors were never rejection. They were preparation. All this time, God has been refining your character, strengthening your spirit, and clearing the way so that when this door finally opens, you won't walk through as who you once were, but as the person He has molded you to become. Too often people mistake the silence of God as disinterest. But silence is not neglect. Silence is strategy. God does not rush what He intends to last forever. And the reason the door you have been waiting on has taken so long to open is because God is not in the business of temporary fixes. He is in the business of eternal foundations. He is not piecing together your destiny with scraps. He is constructing it with precision. And the door that is about to open will not simply be another opportunity, it will be the opportunity. The very one that makes sense of every tear you cried, every night you thought you couldn't make it, every season where it looked like nothing was moving. Now, let me tell you something. Every person in this room, every soul hearing my voice and knows what it feels like to stand before a closed door, a dream that feels just out of reach, a desire of the heart that seems impossible, a prayer that has lingered unanswered for years. And in those moments, the enemy whispers lies. God has forgotten you. God has abandoned you. Nothing will change. But the truth is this: God has heard every prayer, counted every tear, and recorded every longing of your heart. He has not forgotten you. He has not abandoned you. He has been working behind the scenes in ways you cannot see, aligning people, orchestrating circumstances, and preparing the timing. When God opens a door, no man can shut it. Do you hear that? No man, no system, no enemy, no situation can stand against the hand of God when He chooses to unlock what has been shut. That is why you must never let bitterness creep into your waiting, because the very delay you resent today may be the evidence that God is building something far greater than you could have ever imagined. The longer the wait, the greater the glory. The deeper the silence, the louder the breakthrough. And I want you to understand this truth with all the fire of your soul. The door God is about to open for you is not just about you. It is about the lives that will be touched through your obedience, the families that will be restored because you did not give, other generations that will be changed because you trusted God's timing instead of forcing your own. The door you have been waiting on carries within it the purpose of God for your life. And when it opens, it will ripple far beyond what you can see today. Some of you are standing at the threshold right now. You feel it in your spirit. You sense that change is near. There's a stirring inside of you that you cannot explain, a holy unease, a sense that something is shifting. That's because the season of waiting is coming to an end, and the season of walking through the open door is about to begin. And when you step through that, you will look back and say, "Now I understand, now I see why it took so long. Now I see why God made me wait." Do not be deceived into thinking that waiting has weakened you. Waiting has forged you. Waiting has built muscles in your spirit that comfort could never build. Waiting has trained to recognize the voice of God above the noise of the world. Waiting has stripped away false dependencies so that when the door opens, you will not lean on man, but only on God. You thought you were in a holding pattern, but in truth, you were in training. God was not punishing you. He was preparing you. Think of the seed buried deep in the soil. It looks as though nothing is happening. And days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and the surface remains unchanged. But deep beneath the soil, roots are spreading. Foundations are forming. Life is stirring. If the seed gave up on the season of darkness, it would never break forth into the light. You, my friend, are that seed. God buried you not to forget you, but to grow you. And now the time is near when what has been hidden will be revealed. And what has been in darkness will sprout forth in light. Every closed door you face was God's way of protecting you from what was not meant for you. Some doors were shut because what lay behind them would have destroyed you. Some were locked because the timing was wrong. Others were sealed because destiny was never meant to be tied to that path. And even though you wept before those doors, even though you begged for them to open, one day you will thank God they never did. Because now you see the hand that shut those doors is the same hand that is about to open the right one. And when it opens, it will not creak slightly. Ajar, it will swing wide with authority. The God who holds the keys of every destiny, the God who controls the seasons of men, the God who knows the end from the beginning, is about to declare over your life, "Now is the time." And when God says, "Now the forces of hell tremble, the barriers crumble, and the opposition scatters," nothing can stand against the decree of God. But here is a truth I must tell you. Do not despise the wilderness that came before the open door. For the wilderness taught you humility. The wilderness taught you to hunger for God. The wilderness taught you that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. If you had walked into the promise without the wilderness, you would have thought the promise was yours by right. But because you endured the wilderness, you will walk into the promise knowing it was yours by grace. And grace, my friend, changes everything. Grace humbles you. Grace makes you lift your hands in worship instead of pride. Grace makes you fall to your knees in gratitude instead of standing tall in arrogance. Grace reminds you that the door opening before you is not a trophy you earn. It is a gift you were entrusted with. Now let me speak directly to that weary heart that is listening to me right now. You are tired of knocking. You are tired of asking. You are tired of being told, "Wait." You feel as though everyone else is moving ahead while you remain stuck in the same place. And bitterness has started whispering, maybe God has favorites. Maybe God's promises were not meant for you. Let me silence that lie today. God does not forget His children. God does not overlook your faithfulness. God does not abandon His own. If you are still waiting, it is because the timing is still being perfected. And when it comes, it will not be late. it will be right on time. Remember, sudden doors are never truly sudden. They are the result of years of unseen preparation. To you, it will look like overnight favor. To heaven, it is the appointed moment that was written long before you were born. God does not work in accidents, and your appointment is on the way. So lift up your head, straighten your back, wipe the tears from your face. Do not walk like one defeated when you serve the God who opens doors that no man can shut. Do not speak like one abandoned when you serve the God who never leaves nor forsakes. Do not think like one hopeless when you serve the God who holds eternity in his hand. The door's coming, and when it opens, it will redeem the years you thought were wasted. It will restore the opportunities you thought were lost. It will exceed the prayers you thought were too bold to pray. Because God is not merely going to meet your expectations, He is going to surpass them. For God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ever ask or imagine. Do not underestimate the weight of a divine door. For when God opens it, it will not just alter your schedule, it will alter your destiny. Some of you have been praying for a small breakthrough, but God has been preparing a great one. You have been asking for a drop, but God has been preparing a flood. That is why He made you wait. Because the magnitude of what He is about to pour into your life required more than a quick answer. It required the furnace of patience, the training of faith, and the discipline of endurance. Think of it. Every delay was God enlarging the capacity of your heart. Every disappointment was God chiseling away the pride that would have destroyed you. Every closed chapter was God clearing space for the story that truly belonged to you. And now the author of your life is about to write a new page. And when He does, the ink of heaven will declare what no earthly pen could ever script. That the wait was worth it. You must also know this truth. When God opens a door, it may not look the way you expect. Too often we picture the door as something polished, perfect, and shining, but God's doors are often wrapped in humility, requiring faith to step through. Sometimes they come disguised as challenges, opportunities that stretch you, responsibilities that frighten you. But hear me well. Do not reject the door because it comes dressed in difficulty, for within that difficulty lies the breakthrough you prayed for. Within that responsibility lies the destiny you long for. The open door is rarely easy, but it is always worth it. And let me remind you, when the door opens, not everyone will celebrate with you. Some who sat quietly while you struggled will suddenly rise in envy when you succeed. Do not let their reaction distract you from your calling. Do not waste your energy defending why God blessed you. You owe no apology for divine favor. The same God who kept you in obscurity will keep you steady in visibility. The same God who sustained you in the waiting will sustain you in the walking. But do not step through the door without gratitude. Gratitude is the posture that honors God. Gratitude is what will keep you from boasting in yourself. Gratitude is what will remind you daily that the door is not the destination. It is the beginning of a new assignment. And if you are not careful, you will mistake the blessing for the blesser, the gift for the giver, the opportunity for the one who opened it. Never let the open door replace the God who opened it. Some of you may still feel the weight of unanswered questions. Why did it take so long? Why did I have to suffer so much? Why did I lose what I love most before gaining what I asked for? I cannot answer every why, but I can tell you this. Nothing in God's plan is wasted. The pain shaped you. The losses matured you. The silence deepened you. And when you walk through this door, you will realize that not one season of your life was meaningless. God does not waste suffering. He transforms it into wisdom, compassion, and resilience. And let me tell you something that you must carry into the open door: the humility to remember where you came from. Too many forget the wilderness once they reach the promise. Too many forget the prayers once they receive the answers. But if you want to remain in the place God has elevated you to, you must never lose sight of the fact that it was God's hand, not your own, that opened the way. Every step you take must echo with the confession, "To God be the glory." Even now I feel it in my spirit. There are some who are on the very edge of breakthrough. But you are weary. You are tempted to quit just before the door opens. Do not quit. Do not retreat. Do not lay down your faith at the threshold. For often the greatest resistance comes just before the release. The darkest night is just before the dawn. The fiercest battle is just before the victory. The enemy will fight hardest at the edge of your destiny because he knows that once you step through, you will never be the same. There is something holy about the moment just before the door opens. It is a sacred tension, a divine pause where God tests not your ability to rush ahead, but your willingness to stand still and trust Him. Do not despise this moment. It is in these final hours of waiting that your character is being sealed, your faith is being refined, and your spirit is being prepared to carry what God is about to place in your hands. If He were to open the door before you were ready, the blessing would crush you instead of build you. But because He is a wise and loving God, He will not release what you cannot yet sustain. And I say this with holy boldness, as some of you thought God was punishing you by making you wait, but in reality, He was protecting you. He was holding back the floodgates because He knew the weight of that blessing would drown you if your foundation was not secure. He was guarding you against premature exposure, shielding you from enemies you did not yet have the strength to fight, and withholding opportunities that would have destroyed your destiny if they came too soon. But now the foundation has been laid. Now the roots have gone deep. Now the strength has been built. And God is ready to open the very door that has been shut for so long. And when He does, it will not simply be an answer to your prayer. It will be the unveiling of His purpose. For the open door is never just about what you gain, but about what God wants to accomplish through you. Behind that door lies more than personal blessing. It carries impact, legacy, influence, and the advancement of God's will on earth. That is why the battle has been so fierce, why the resistance has been so relentless, why the wait has been so long. Because this door is not ordinary, it is divine. Hear me clearly. When God opens the door, walk through it boldly. Do not hesitate. Do not shrink back. Do not allow fear to paralyze you. For if the God who created the earth has chosen this moment to release you, then no fear is greater than His power. No obstacle is stronger than His word, and no enemy can withstand His decree. Step into that open door with courage, with gratitude, with reverence, and with faith that God Himself goes before you. But let me give you this warning. An open door does not mean an easy path. The open door is the beginning of a new chapter, yes, but it is also the beginning of new challenges. Do not mistake the opening as the end of the journey. It is the start of a greater one. And that is why your preparation in the waiting was so vital. God did not train you in vain. The trials you endured, the patience you learned, the faith you developed, all of it will serve you in the new season. For every new level brings new battles. But the same God who opened the door will give you victory within it. And remember this, an open door demands responsibility. You cannot walk through it with the same mindset you had while waiting. The posture of waiting is patience. The posture of breakthrough is stewardship. God is entrusting you with something bigger, something greater, something that will affect not only your life, but also the lives of many others. How you walk through this door will determine how long it stays open. So carry humility, carry discipline, carry the fire of devotion to God. Do not let the blessing become the very thing that leads you away from the one who gave it. There will be voices that try to distract you once the door opens. Some will tell you that you do not deserve it. Others will try to convince you it was luck. And still others will demand that you use it for their gain. You must stay rooted in the truth that this door was opened by God and by God alone. You did not manipulate it. You did not force it. You did not earn it. It was given. And because it was given, your allegiance must remain with the giver, not with the crowd. And I say this with urgency. Guard your heart once you step into the new season. Do not let pride whisper that you made it on your own. Do not let fear whisper that you cannot handle it. Do not let people's opinions dictate how you walk. Anchor yourself in God. Anchor yourself in His Word. Anchor yourself in the assurance that the one who opens the door is the same one who will sustain you within it. Even now, there are those listening who can feel it. You sense that something is about to shift. Your spirit has been stirring. Your prayers have taken on new intensity. Your dreams are coming alive again. And not coincidence. That is confirmation. God is signaling that the door is near, that the season is about to change, that the waiting is about to give way to walking. So prepare yourself, because when the moment comes, it will happen suddenly. One day of favor with God can undo years of struggle. One open door can redeem decades of delay. One divine moment can rewrite your entire story. Lift your eyes, my friend. Stop staring at the closed doors of the past. Stop replaying the disappointments. Stop mourning what was lost. A new door stands before you, and it carries the fingerprints of God. And when it opens, you will know beyond any doubt that it was His hand that did it. And you will testify not of your own strength, not of your own wisdom, not of your own strategy, but of the goodness, the mercy, and the faithfulness of God. Do not think for a moment that the waiting years were wasted. Every second of delay has been an investment into your destiny. While you were pacing the floor at night, wondering why nothing was changing, God was working in silence, laying foundations that you could not see. While you were crying over what you thought was lost, God was preparing what could never be taken away. And while you were pleading for Him to move faster, He was arranging things so perfectly that when the door opens, you will stand in awe at how every piece fits together. The truth is, sometimes we pray for the door, but we do not pray for the strength to walk through it. Sometimes we ask God for breakthrough, but we do not ask Him to prepare our hearts to handle the blessing. And this is why He waits. Because He is not just giving you what you asked for. He is shaping you into the kind of person who can carry it. A door opened too soon can destroy you, but a door opened at the right time can define you. Let me speak plainly. The enemy has tried to convince you that your story is over. He has whispered that the delay means denial, that the silence means abandonment, that the closed doors mean rejection. But those were lies. For what the enemy cannot destroy, he tries to discourage. And he knows that if he can convince you to give up before the door opens, he does not have to fight you once it does. That is why you must hold your ground. Refuse to let go of hope. Refuse to believe that God has forgotten you, because you are closer to the open door than you realize. And when it comes, it will come suddenly. The same God who allowed the years of silence will allow one day of breakthrough that changes everything. The same God who permitted the closed doors will open one door that makes sense of them all. And in that moment, you will understand that the waiting was not wasted. It was working. God was putting in you the resilience to withstand what is coming, the wisdom to navigate it, and the faith to honor Him within it. But I must tell you, when God opens the door, you cannot hesitate. Hesitation is the enemy of obedience. The opportunity will require faith, boldness, and courage. If you try to analyze it too long, if you let fear talk you out of it, you may miss the very moment you have been praying for. When the door swings wide, step forward. Do not look back at what was. Do not compare it to what you expected. Trust that God knows what He is doing and walk through it. The door God is opening is not only for your blessing, but also for your calling. He is positioning you to influence lives. He is trusting you with greater authority. He is lifting you up for a purpose far beyond yourself. That is why the battle to reach this season has been so fierce. The resistance you have faced was never just about your joy. It has always been about your destiny. For the enemy knows that once you step into this, lives will be transformed. Hearts will be strengthened. Futures will be rewritten. So rise with bold faith. Shake off every weight of discouragement. Lift your praise even before the door swings open, for praise is the voice of faith, and faith is what moves the hand of God. Praise Him not because you see it yet, but because you know it is coming. Praise Him not for what is in your hand, but for what is already written in His plan. Praise Him not because the door is open yet, but because the key is already turning in the lock. And let me tell you, when that door opens, it will not just be for survival. It will be for abundance. It will not just be for recovery. It will be for restoration. It will not just be for personal blessing. It will be for generational impact. Because when God does a thing, He does it in fullness. He does not halfway bless, halfway deliver, halfway redeem. He completes what He begins. And He begins. And the work He began in you during the waiting will come to fullness in the opening of the door. So I say this with fire in my bones. Get ready. Prepare yourself. Do not be caught asleep when God moves. Do not be distracted by lesser things when the greatest moment of your life arrives. The time is near. The season is shifting. The door is about to open. And when it does, walk through with faith, with gratitude, with humility, and with the unshakable conviction that it was God and God alone who did it. There are moments in life when the waiting stretches so long that you begin to wonder if God even remembers your name. You see others stepping into their breakthroughs, walking through their open doors, testifying of answered prayers, and in the quiet corners of your heart you whisper, God, what about me? Do not be ashamed of that question, for even the strongest hearts grow weary, even the most faithful grow tired. But I have come to declare to you that what about me is about to turn into look what God has done for me. For the same God who opened doors for others has not forgotten to open yours. The same hand that lifted them will lift you. The same grace that carried them will carry you. But you must understand this. When your door opens, it will be unlike anyone else's. God is not in the business of carbon copy destinies. Your story is not meant to be compared. Your path is not meant to be measured against another. That is why your waiting has looked different. Your trials have been unique. Your journey has been unusual. Because the door God has prepared for you is unlike any other. It has your name written, your calling designed for it, your destiny tied to it. No one else can walk through it but you. And when you step through, you will see that every delay was divine alignment. The people you met along the way, the setbacks you thought were failures, the seasons that seemed empty, all of it was weaving together into a tapestry of purpose. God wastes nothing. He uses the pain to shape your compassion, the silence to sharpen your discernment, the waiting to strengthen your faith. And when the door finally opens, you will look back and realize that He was with you all along, even when you could not feel Him. Sometimes God closes doors we desperately wanted open. Not because He is cruel, but because He is kind. Some of the doors you begged for would have led to destruction. Some of the relationships you prayed for would have derailed your destiny. Some of the opportunities you thought were perfect would have poisoned your soul. And so in mercy, God said no. In love, He kept them shut. And though it hurt you then, you will rejoice now. For you will see that His protection was disguised as denial, and the denial of man was the direction of God. But here lies a truth that must be grasped. The open door is not just about where you are going. It is about who you are becoming. For God is not merely leading you into a new place. He is shaping you into a new person. He is calling you higher, deeper, stronger. The waiting refined you, but the walking will transform you. The waiting stripped away your weaknesses, but the open door will call forth your strengths. Do not step through as the same person who began the journey. You must step through renewed, strengthened, and resolute in faith. And when you do, be prepared for the shifting of seasons. For the open door will not only change your circumstances, it will change your circle. Some people who walked with you in the waiting will not walk with you into the breakthrough. Do not be surprised when the door divides. God is not being cruel. He is being strategic. He knows who can handle the weight of your destiny and who cannot. He knows who will celebrate your blessing and who will sabotage it. So trust Him when He removes certain voices, closes certain friendships, or silences certain influences before the door opens. Because not everyone who is part of your past is meant to be part of your future. But here is the promise that steadies the soul. What God opens, no one can shut. You do not have to strive to keep the door open. You do not have to fear that someone else will slam it closed. If it was opened by God, then it will be sustained by God. And if God Himself is your keeper, then no enemy can evict you from the place He has positioned you. Walk with that confidence. Live with that assurance. Stand with that boldness that the God who opens is the God who secures. And let me remind you, the door is not only about what you will receive, but about what you will release. Your testimony will give others hope. Your victory will inspire the weary. Your story will ignite faith in those who have grown cold. That is why the battle has been so fierce, because your open door carries more than your breakthrough. It carries breakthrough for others. And when you walk through it, it will not just be a blessing for you. It will become a beacon for many. So lift your voice now, even before it happens. Sing as though the door is already open. Pray as though the breakthrough has already come. Worship as though the victory is already won. Because in the realm of God, it is already done. It is only waiting to manifest in your life. And when it does, you will stand in awe, saying, "If it had not been for God, I would not be here. If it had not been for God, the door would still be shut. If it had not been for God, I would have lost hope." And your heart will overflow with gratitude. The door you have been waiting for is not just an entrance into a new season. It is a statement from heaven that the old season has expired. There are some chapters of your life that no matter how hard you tried, you could not close them. They clung to you. They haunted you. They weighed you down. But when God opens the new door, it is not only to lead you forward, it is to declare once and for all that what was holding you no longer has power. The chains that kept you bound in the waiting season will have no authority in the new one. When you cross that threshold, the shame of the past will break. The fear of yesterday will dissolve, and the regrets that once followed you will lose their voice. But let me tell you this in all seriousness. Every open door comes with the temptation of distraction. You must remain vigilant. Do not mistake the blessing as the destination. The open door is not the finish line. It is the launching point. Some people pray their entire lives for God to open the door. And when it comes, they forget why they prayed in the first place. They become so consumed with the gift that they neglect the giver. They become so busy with opportunity that they forget the one who provided it. Do not let that be your story. Let gratitude be the compass of your new season. Let humility be the anchor of your heart. Let every step you take beyond that open door echo with a remembrance. This is God's doing, and it is marvelous in my eyes. And hear this: do not be surprised if once the door opens, new opposition arises. Favor attracts both support and resistance. The greater the open door, the greater the attention it draws. Some will admire you, some will misunderstand you, and some will envy you. But do not fear the resistance, Torkaktur. If God opened the door, then He has already equipped you with the strength to withstand the battles that will come on the other side. The same God who sustained you in the waiting will defend you in the breakthrough. The same God who refined you in the wilderness will empower you in the promised place. Do not enter the open door timidly. Enter it boldly with the confidence of a child who knows that their father prepared it. Walk through it with your head lifted high, not in arrogance, but in reverence. Know that you are not there by chance, not there by coincidence, not there by human approval, but by divine appointment. And when you walk through, walk with the determination that you will use this season not to glorify yourself, but to glorify the God who made it possible. Even now I feel compelled to speak to the one who is exhausted by the weight. You are standing on the edge and you feel like letting go. You have prayed until your words ran dry. You have believed until your hope has wavered and you feel that you cannot hold on another day. Let me assure you, your endurance is not in vain. Your faithfulness is not forgotten. Your patience is not wasted. God is closer than you think. The door is nearer than you realized, and the breakthrough is greater than you imagined. You may feel weary, but strength is rising. You may feel overlooked, but heaven has its eye on you. You may feel forgotten, but your name is engraved on the palm of God's hand. And this is the paradox of waiting. The very moments that feel like nothing is happening are the moments when everything is happening in the unseen. While you are asking, God is saying soon. While you are saying how long, God is whispering just a little longer. And when the moment comes, you will forget the pain of waiting because the joy of breakthrough will overshadow it all. Just like a mother forgets the pain of labor when she holds her child, you will forget the heaviness of delay when you step into the fulfillment of promise. And let me assure you of this truth. What God opens for you, no one can take from you. It is sealed by His authority, secured by His word, and sustained by His power. Man cannot revoke it. The enemy cannot undo it, and time cannot erode it. The door He opens is eternal in its impact, unshakable in its foundation, unstoppable in its purpose. So when it opens, do not question it. Do not doubt it. Do not minimize it. Embrace it fully. Walk in it completely and honor God through it entirely. Do not underestimate what is about to happen when God opens the door you've been waiting for. This is not just a moment of relief, it is a moment of revelation. You will see why the tears had to fall, why the doors had to remain shut, why the silence had to linger. For in that instant of breakthrough, the puzzle pieces will come together, and what once looked like random pain will suddenly make sense as purposeful preparation. You will stand there not only rejoicing in the door that opened, but marveling at the God who orchestrated every detail leading up to it. But let me tell you plainly, open doors come with responsibility. The greater the door, the greater the weight you must carry. But God does not open doors so that we may sit idly in blessing. He opens doors so that we may walk faithfully in calling. If you step through this door only thinking what you can gain, you will miss the very reason God opened it. But if you step through asking, God, how can I serve you here? How can I honor you in this place? How can I use this opportunity to glorify your name? Then you will find that the open door becomes not only a blessing for you, but a channel of blessing for countless others. And let me warn you, when the door opens, not everyone will rejoice. Some who stood by you in waiting may step away in jealousy. Others may try to claim the glory for themselves or diminish what God has done in you. But pay them no attention. Do not waste your energy explaining your blessing. Do not spend your days defending your favor. For the same God who opened the door for you will also vindicate you in it. He does not need the applause of men to validate His work. What He begins, He proves. What He ordains, He sustains. Walk with quiet confidence and let your life itself become the testimony. Think of the moments when you wanted to quit. Think of the times you thought the delay was too much to bear. Think of the days you questioned if the promise was real. And now remember this: the very God who carried you through those nights of doubt is the same God who is about to carry you into your day of fulfillment. That is why you cannot give up now. You are too close, too near, too positioned to let discouragement rob you of destiny. The hand of God has been steady upon your life, and if He brought you this far, He will not abandon you at the threshold. And I must say this: when you walk through that door, walk through with worship. Do not let your first step be pride. Let it be praise. Do not let your first thought be self-congratulation. Let it be gratitude. Do not let your first act be boasting. Let it be surrender. Because worship seals what God has done. Worship reminds you who the true source is. Worship anchors your heart so that no matter how high you rise, you never forget how low He lifted you from. And let me speak to the fear that some of you feel. You ask yourself, what if I fail once the door opens? What if I am not enough for what lies ahead? Let me assure you, God would not open the door if He had not already equipped you for what is behind it. He would not position you if He had not already prepared you. Do not look at yourself with the eyes of doubt. Look at yourself with the eyes of destiny. God chose you for this, and His choice is final. If He called you, He will equip you. If He positioned you, He will empower you. If He opened the door, He will walk with you through it. And when the opposition rises, and it will, do not tremble. The God who opened the door is also the God who guards it. You do not have to live in fear of losing what He gave. What is divinely given cannot be stolen by man. What is sovereignly ordained cannot be undone by the enemy. What is unlocked by heaven cannot be relocked by earth. So rest in that truth. Live in that confidence. Walk in that authority. The season of waiting has not been easy. It has stripped you, tested you, broken you, and refined you. But it has also qualified you. It has made you ready in ways you cannot even see. And soon, very soon, the door will open and you will realize that you were never waiting in vain. You were being prepared for something far greater than you imagined. And when you step into it, your heart will burn with one undeniable truth, that the God who made you wait is the same God who makes all things beautiful in His time. So lift your eyes, lift your voice, lift your faith. The waiting is almost over. The silence is about to break. The season is about to shift. The door is about to open. And when it does, no power in hell, no force on earth, no voice of doubt will be able to stop what God has begun. Walk into it with boldness and let your life thunder with the declaration, God has done this, and it is marvelous. And so I tell you with all the conviction of my heart, do not lose hope in the waiting. For the waiting has only been the evidence that God has been at work. Every tear, every prayer, every sleepless night has been counted, and not one of them was wasted. The very thing you thought would break has built you. The silence that felt unbearable has refined you. And the years that felt empty have been filled with unseen preparation. And now the hour is near when God Himself will reach down and swing open the very door that no man could ever open for you. When it happens, it will not be a small thing. It will not be a door that barely shifts. It will be a door that bursts wide with the weight of heaven's authority. It will come suddenly. It will come powerfully. It will come undeniably. You will not need to question if this is the moment, for your spirit will bear witness. Your heart will know and your eyes will see that this is the work of God alone. And when you walk through it, you must not walk timidly. Do not drag your feet into destiny. Do not second-guess the God who has been faithful. Walk through with courage, with boldness, with reverence, and with gratitude that overwhelms your soul. Walk through declaring that this is the day the Lord has made, and you will rejoice and be glad in it. Walk through with the memory of every closed door behind you, and let it fuel your gratitude for the one God has chosen to open now. But do not forget this one truth. The open door is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a greater calling. It is not simply about your blessing. It is about your assignment. You are being entrusted with more than opportunity. You are being entrusted with responsibility. What God is placing in your hands is not just for your comfort. It is for His kingdom, His glory, His purpose in and through your life. And if you remain faithful, if you remain humble, if you keep your eyes fixed on Him, then the very door He opens will become the way for countless others to find their way as well. So stand firm, my friend. Do not grow weary at the edge of destiny. Do not let discouragement steal the final seconds before breakthrough. Do not let fear hold you back when the key is already turning in the lock. The season is shifting. The atmosphere is changing. The tide is turning. God is about to open the door you have been waiting for. And when that moment comes, you will never again question His faithfulness. Lift your head high, let your heart overflow with faith. For soon you will declare with tears streaming and fire in your voice, I waited for the Lord, and He did not fail me. I placed my trust in Him, and He came through. I thought the waiting would crush me, but it was the waiting that prepared me. And now, standing in the very fulfillment of His promise, I know without a shadow of doubt that God is faithful, God is good, and God is worthy of all glory. From that day forward, your life itself will shine as a living testimony, a blazing declaration to everyone who sees you that when God opens a door, no one can shut it. And when His word comes to pass, no power in heaven or on earth can resist it. Let this be your song, your confidence, your unshakable truth. The door is opening. The waiting is ending. The promise is unfolding. And it is God, and God alone, who has done it.